Okay, now, so we have finished our steps 15 and we can now move on to step 16. And step 16 is all about the suspension arms. So we need to locate these trees here, which is the OT201s. And then you've got a part 1, which is this side, and a part 2, which is this side. And you know the difference between the two is that the part 2 has the 3 holes here. This is for your, no doubt, for your dampers, whereas the part 1 doesn't. Okay, and you get basically 2 of those. So it looks to me like from the drawing, the part 2s, which is the one with the 3 holes, are on the rear of the car, and the part 1s are on the front of the car. And you connect those using these rods, and you've got the 2 different types of rod. This is OT247, and you know this is the correct one for the rear. A, because it's slightly longer at 60 millimeters, whereas the front ones are 54. And B, you kind of know that you're in the right position because this has the flat at the rear of the shaft towards where the head is, and this has the flat at the start of the shaft, and this is the one that goes in the front. So those are the front, those are the rears, and you're going to lock them into place using these little grub screws that are going to find their way, when you screw them through the chassis, they're going to find their way into the flat and lock. Okay, so first things first, we've got to get these off because we've got some flashing to take off and tidy up. So I'll just do that and then I'll come back to you. Now that we've got our suspension arms taken off the little trees and the flashings all taken off and everything nice and smooth, so this is the rear. So we're going to do the OT201 part 2, which is the rear one. You can tell that by the 3 holes at the back. And we're going to take our chassis, and hopefully we can get this on camera, and it goes in through here, the bottom here, there's a slot here, and this is where you take the longer of the shafts. So this is the OT247, the M3 by 60 millimeters, and you pop in that through the hole, and you've got to line this hole up with the chassis. There we go, so I've got that lined up through there. Then we take our arm and place that into the area, and we pop that through as well, and you line that all the way through, and then you've got to find the hole there. And what we have got to do is we've actually also got to twist this so that the flat is showing through the hole, which I don't think it is. So just bring that back out again, turn that a little bit, so I've got the flat showing. There we are. There we are. So if I line the flat, line the hole and push that too. So now that the flat is actually aligned in the hole, we take our grub screw, tiny grub screw, and then we pop that grub screw, and we've got to tighten that grub screw down. And you could use the Allen key here because you don't want to over tighten this too much. So you take that through and pop that in, and then make sure it's straight so you can gather some threads. There we are. There we are. And it's nice and straight. And then you basically tighten that down. And the idea is that's pushed all the way home, and you just tighten that down till it stops, and you don't over tighten this. I think it's about there. Can't do any more. There we are. That's that side. I've got to do the same procedure on all 4 corners. So there's no point in me showing you a video of me doing that on all 4 corners. I'll come back to you when I've done all 4 corners. And here we go. This is the last of the arms. There we are. So I'll just quickly go around and nip those up so that the 4 arms on each of the corners of the car now are now in place, and the relevant grub screw tightened on to the relevant flat on the actual shaft there, the suspension shaft. There we go. So now we have our step 16 completed. We can move on to the next. Oh, look at this, guys. Doesn't it look beautiful? Wow.